Some of us are wired, it's our conditioning to be, it's more natural for us to be in the formless, for us to empty out of content and do spiritual practice. And we're quite good at that. And maybe we've been doing it all our life. And for other people, they're more on the other end of the spectrum where they're really about living life and being in form and all the things that come with living your life. But what awakening is asking us to do is to balance the two sides together, because we are both formless and form, and so that we can become a living expression of the formlessness in form, of emptiness in form. So if you're more on the side of the formless, you probably really enjoy spiritual practice and it comes very natural to you, and you may have even used it as a way to cope in life, and you may be able to reach very deep states and access your formless nature quite easily and be able to meditate for extended periods of time. And an indication that you're sort of perhaps going too far into your formless side of things, we could say, is that you're using it as a way to avoid life. You're using it as a way to try and get out of your responsibilities. You're basically using spiritual bypassing to avoid life and perhaps to avoid your trauma or repressed emotions that are there, but also things that are happening in life, like perhaps relationships might be falling apart and that type of thing. And if you're too far on the other side into the form, which I'd say is a bit more common overall in just our modern society, then you're not interested in spiritual practice. You're interested in life, in what is appearing in your life and the responsibilities and going to work and dealing with kids and all of the things that happen in life. And you might be more interested in the body. You might be more interested in like exercise and that type of thing than someone that is more in the formless. That's possible. And so the people in the formless side of things that have perhaps gone a bit too far over this side of things are going to use spiritual practices to perhaps avoid emotional work. People that are too far in the form side of things are going to use overworking and being busy and doer energy and too much responsibility and busyness to avoid emotional work. So both sides can avoid emotional work and often do, but they do it in different ways. So that's just one thing to note as well. And so if you feel like this resonates with you and you feel like you might be weighted perhaps too far one way or the other way, then what's being asked of you if you're going through an awakening is to start to create some balance. And so what we want to do is give more attention to the opposite side. So if you're too far this way in the formlessness, then I would suggest doing body-based practices like yoga or going to the gym and starting to really feel the body again and being back in the body and being interested in learning about the physical body and what it is to be in the physical body, to be a human, and all of the responsibilities in life. Like look at your relationships and, start to really look at your life, like what's happening in life, really practically speaking, and start to stop using spiritual practice to avoid doing emotional work. Start to go into the repressed emotions and into the traumas and that type of thing. And if you're on the other side and you're just naturally more wired to be in the form side of things and you're very practical and good at life and getting things done, then having a spiritual practice, a set spiritual practice, and having the discipline to do that is going to be so beneficial for you to start to get some balance so that you start to access more of your formless self. So going on spiritual retreats, on silent retreats, or starting a meditation practice even would be fantastic if you're more on this side of things. Start to incorporate more spiritual practices and start to empty out and access that formless part to yourself.